Hi, welcome back for this week's Yin class. Today we're going to need a couple of blankets or pillows and a couple of blocks or something that you can use as a block. To begin with, we're just going to stack our blankets or our pillows behind our back, bringing them close up to our spine, and just begin to drape yourself over the pillows or the blankets until our shoulders are resting on the floor. This should feel semi-comfortable, so if you're feeling any strain at all, please remove one of the pillows or the blankets to make it lower. Letting your arms fall out to the sides. You can have them wide with the elbows bent. We can have them down by your sides. And it's really up to you how you would like to have your legs in this position. We're going to be holding this for a good couple of minutes. So make sure this is something that you are happy to hold and that you're comfortable. As you can see here, I've got my feet together with my knees opened out to the side in a butterfly variation. So you should begin to feel a strong arch through the lower back, through the chest, opening up across the collarbones, opening up through the neck. Continuing with your slow breathing, surrendering your body, and letting gravity pull you down towards the floor. By sitting and reclining in these postures for a little bit longer, we're allowing all our ligaments, tendons, and sinews to just release away from the muscles. And you should notice after you've been in this for a little while, everything will just incrementally start to release lower and lower towards the ground. And this is just your body getting used to this position. So although you may not be exactly comfortable, your body should be finding a sense of ease here. This is a great time to practice your breath work. So a lot of people like to experiment with counting breaths slowly to the count of 10 and then beginning again. An in-breath is 1, out-breath is 2. Really appreciate all the points of contact of your body with the floor or with your pillows. Really appreciating the shape that we don't often get to hold. We're not going to hold this much longer. If you need to move the position of the legs, feel free to do so. Just do your best not to fidget in this kind of pose, as we're wanting the body to get used to a certain level of pressure, helping to release the sinews and the tissues. Okay, very gently on your next inhale, if you've got your legs apart, start to bring them together. And you can just roll off your blocks or your blankets or your pillows, one side or the other, and slowly push yourself up to a seated position. Now we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and we're going to continue with the theme of opening up through our chests and broadening our backs. So keeping your knees bent in this 90-degree angle position, start to step your hands forward, stretching your chest, lowering your chest and your chin down towards the floor. So this is called puppy pose, essentially a baby downward dog pose, or in yin, melting heart pose. If you find that you're struggling here, your arms are aching, or your head is hanging quite high off of the floor, please feel free to grab some blankets or pillows just to prop yourself up a little bit. Otherwise, we're just going to concentrate on keeping our hips and our sits bones nice and high, shoulders pulling gently down the back, making sure we're not holding any tension in the jaw or in the neck. We're not going to hold this one for quite as long, but just for a little while longer. Concentrate on your breathing, trying to expand the stomach as you breathe in, and letting the stomach flatten as you exhale. Still concentrating on your breathing, on the points of contact with the mat. And very gently start to push yourself back and come into a really brief child's pose. So bring your knees nice and wide, rest your hips back, and just collapse down towards the floor. Okay, coming back up, we're going to work a little bit on the feet. So this is no one's favorite pose, but it is really beneficial. The feet do so much for us. So tucking the toes underneath, you want to bring your hips back to rest on your heels. If this feels like too much, you can bring your hands to the floor, or like I'm doing here, you can put a pillow underneath your knees and this can take a bit of the pressure off. But what you want to make sure is that all 10 toes are tucked underneath and you can feel a good stretch through the feet. Okay, and start to release that. You can untuck the toes. You can shake them out a little bit if you need to, if you're starting to cramp. And now grabbing a cushion or pillow or blanket again, come up into a high kneeling position and tuck your pillow just behind your kneecap. So you want it pulled really close to the backs of your knees. Then just gently lower yourself down so that your hips are resting just above your ankles again. And you should feel quite a strong pressure on the very lower parts of the back of your thighs, really massaging into the hamstrings. Again, if this is too intense, please feel free to remove whatever prop you have there and just relax and recline in child's pose for a few breaths. Try not to let your shoulders hunch. Bring your ears far away from your shoulders, letting your shoulders relax. Hands resting gently on your thighs. You can even close your eyes here, remembering to focus on that soft, deep breath. Now we're just going to come back up to your kneeling position and just gently move the pillow, maybe 2 or 3 centimeters away from the backs of the knees. So now we're going to be massaging into a higher part of the backs of the thighs, getting a full massage through the whole length of the hamstring. And we're going to move the pillow one more time. So bring it right the way back, so just underneath your glutes. You want it to be pushing in at the very tops of your hamstrings. So this might not feel like any work at all, but you really are massaging and giving some love to those neglected muscles. Just letting yourself sit here quietly, relaxing, breathing deeply. And come back up. Just move your blanket or pillow off to the side. I'm just going to do a reset with a couple more cat-cows. Just doing this in your own time, inhaling, looking up, exhaling, rounding the back. On your next round, just turn your hands out 45 degrees, just getting a different kind of stretch for the arms. And then turn them 45 degrees again so your fingertips are reaching back towards your knees. And just coming out of that. Now for our final pose, we're going to come back to a seated position, bring a couple of blankets or cushions to either side of the knee. We're going to use them to rest our butterfly legs on, and then grab a couple of blocks, or again rolled up blankets will do, and you want to position them in such a way behind you that the lower block rests just underneath your shoulder blades and the upper block is for the back of your head to rest on. And just really gently lower down into this. You might need a few minutes to just play around with the props until you're in a comfortable position. Your feet will be together and your knees wide. And this is how we're going to take our final relaxation here. So keeping in mind that this shouldn't be unpleasant for you to lay like this. If it is, you can always take the blocks away. You can lay flat on the mat, or you can come to a traditional Shavasana, letting your legs go long, moving the blocks and just lying down. Otherwise, just let yourself sink here, finishing with the strong chest opener just like we started. Maybe practicing counting your breaths again, inhaling and exhaling up to the count of 10, and then starting back at the beginning. Start to notice any points of your body that feel more open and free from this practice. Do your hips feel looser? Do you feel like you're able to breathe deeper because your chest is nice and broad? Are your shoulders relaxed away from your ears? As always, stay here as long as you feel able to, or come into your traditional resting pose. This is where I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoyed today's Yin class. Please like and subscribe for more.